Coming up, the Lions introduce their brand new head coach. The Browns, they're still searching. Also, we will talk to Whitmer alum Nigel Hayes, now playing basketball at Wisconsin. But we will start the show with a busy night of Toledo and Bowling Green basketball.
That's right, Ken. You've got both men and women's team from UT and BG in action. We start over at Savage Arena, a big one against a good Buffalo team. One of two former Rockets playing for Buffalo, Joshua Freelove, Justin Moss the other. UT trailed by as much as 13 in the first half, but you call it a comeback. You can call it that. J.D. Weatherspoon did with that throwdown, and Witherspoon again, this time from the outside. He had 13. He was not done. Juice Brown driving the lane, had a good night, but how about Witherspoon as well? Throwing it down, ties it at 56. Back and forth game. 5 lead changes in the final 5 minutes. Juice Brown gets it to roll. Puts the team up 2. He had his 1,000th point tonight, but tie game. 12 seconds left. Buffalo unties it with less than 3 to play. 2.4 to be exact. Matt Smith, the touchdown pass to Nathan Booth. Over to Juice Brown for the win. Yes! Juice Brown knocks down the game winner at the buzzer. Rockets win 67-65. Hey, Juice, how big a shot was that?
I would definitely have to say number one. I knew the play that coach was coming with. We drew that up before in practice, so I was just pretty confident in my shot. My teammates really gave me the confidence.
Did you know it was going down when it was up?
Oh yeah, I know. You know, we got confidence in Juice. Juice is a great finisher. We have unbelievable confidence in his game, and I just had a feeling like that ball was going in the hole.
Can't say enough about Juice. You know, he decided to come play for Todd Kowalczyk when we won 4 games. The program was in dire straits, and here he is as a junior, 1,000 points. God willing, he stays healthy. He's going to break the assist record at this institution.
Great win for UT. Hey, BG, top that. Falcons playing down at the Stroll against Central Michigan. Good start for the start product, Anthony Henderson. Back-to-back threes right out of the gate. But the Chips play well in the first half. Nice backdoor for the score. Central up double digits, but ooh! Throwing it down, Rashawn Holmes took a page out of J.D. Witherspoon's playbook. And then how about a little bit more Bowling Green basketball? Second half, it was a highlight reel performance for Rashawn Holmes. How about another alley and then an oop? Bowling Green off and running, first try. It might not go as we build the drama, but how about the follow with the putback? Rashawn Holmes, the Thunder, he had a huge game. Falcons pick up their first MAC win of the season, 67-57.
Bowling Green women also in action tonight on the road at Ball State. Casey McDowell, basketball analyst for us here at BCSN and former Falcon, here to talk about that one. And Falcons in a tough stretch, a 3-game stretch in 8 days. They beat Akron, the preseason favorite in the MAC East on Sunday. Falcons picked second. And you talked about it during the broadcast, just how difficult a stretch this is.
Well, Ken, it is such a tough stretch where Bowling Green, they were picked second. They needed to protect their home court and come out and get a strong victory against Akron. And then they have to go on the road against the projected number 2 and number 1 teams in the West. They faced off against Ball State tonight. So when you can protect the home court and then go on the road and win, that's huge for you down the stretch.
Let's take a look at the highlights out in Muncie tonight. The Falcons trying to get it done on the road, coming in at 13-2 overall. They got off to a hot start. Miriam Justinger, the sophomore out of Sylvania Northview, knocks down the 3. She would have 18 points in this one. Later in the action, ball gets over to the corner. Deb Hoekstra, she knocks down the 3. The Falcons have been hot from 3 all season.
Well, that's a staple in the Bowling Green program. You have to be able to shoot the 3, and they sometimes live and die by the 3. And when they get hot, the way they play defense, it's so tough to stop them.
Jasmine Matthews just inside the 3-point line here, just outside. She had 5 quick points there. But the Falcons actually trailed at the half. In the second half, they would turn up the intensity and take about a 15-point lead, but it would start on defense. Justinger with the steal and the finish. That would tie the game at 33. A pair of free throws by Jillian Halfill would finally put the Falcons on top, and then the point guard just left all alone.
Well, Jillian Halfill, she's not a true point guard where she likes to shoot first, but every time teams go underneath ball screens for her, she's going to spot up and shoot. She's the Falcons' best 3-point shooter.
And when the lead was cut to 4 by Ball State, Halfill's right there with another clutch 3 of her 15 points, and Bowling Green would go on to get the big win on the road, 72-61. The final, you see Justinger there, 18 points, 11 of 12 from the free throw line. Alexis Rogers with 15, Halfill with 13 and 5. The Falcons are now 4-0 in the MAC. So 2 steps into this 3-game stretch, and the Falcons are 2-0.
Well, that was a good start tonight by getting this win at Ball State. The tough test is going to come on Saturday. If they can go and win on the road, they're going to be set up. They have a big advantage already, 2 games over Akron, and the women's game, a 2-game lead, is a huge advantage. Bowling Green and Central Michigan split a pair of games last year. The Falcons winning on their home court. It was a much different story in the MAC tournament. Crystal Bradford and the Chippewas getting the best of the Falcons in a big way. So I don't know if that'll be on their minds so much as just a chance to get ahead in the conference. Well, Central Michigan is such a tough place to play, and they are so incredibly athletic. Well, Crystal Bradford is one of the best players in the league. She's easily a Big Ten player. She averages 20 points a game, 11 rebounds a game. They play great offense, but they're the worst defensive team in the MAC. Bowling Green, on the flip side, they're the best defensive team in the MAC. So if they can go down into Central Michigan and control the tempo and control that game like they did in Bowling Green last year, they can come out successful. So the Falcons get the win tonight over Ball State. Casey, thanks for being with us. Thank you. Don't forget, you can watch the Bowling Green women on the road at Central Michigan live at noon on BCSN 2. It's the Falcons and the Chippewas. Elsewhere in the MAC, Tricia Culp's Lady Rockets at Buffalo. Second half, Rockets down 7 when Anna Capatasto connects on the 3-ball, cuts the deficit to 4. Rockets still fighting. Janelle Reed-Lewis from just about the same spot, a little inside the arc. Basket drops. It's tied at 32. Toledo up 1 later in the action when Reed-Lewis connects again. That makes it 40-36 Toledo, but it was all Buffalo after that. Tied at 44 with under 40 seconds to play. They get the lead, and they would not relinquish it. Toledo falling on the road tonight, the final 51-46.
NFL now, as we told you yesterday, the Lions hired Jim Caldwell, the former Colts frontman, as their new head coach. Today, the introductory press conference. Caldwell said this was, quote, Providence, end quote. His dad and younger brother have both worked in the auto industry for over 3 decades, giving me a sense of instant camaraderie with Detroit's fan base. Lions fans will have no problem believing in divine providence if Caldwell can get them to the playoffs. And then there was one.
And I believe the time is now. You know, not 2 years or 3 years from now, down the road somewhere, but right here, right now. As I had an opportunity to look at this situation from afar, when the job first opened up, I took a look at what I considered to be not only the best job in the league, I thought, but then also the best fit for me. And I believe without question, this is the best fit for me.
And then there was one. Thanks to Mike Zimmer becoming the new head coach of the Vikings today, the Cleveland Browns are now the only team in the NFL with a head coaching vacancy. Team owner Jimmy Haslam sent a letter to season ticket holders today that said, in part, quote, we are prepared to wait as long as necessary because this is a very important decision. Everyone in our organization is committed to finding the right leader for our team, end quote. Ken, I feel like I have heard this before.
Yes.
And we got Rob Chudzinski, and then they fired him in less than a year.
And my Redskins got the wrong Gruden, but whatever. They're going to be pretty good, right?
This is Jimmy Haslam's letter. Okay, time for our first timeout, Ken.
Coming up, Nigel Hayes. His team lost for the first time last season. We'll catch up with the former Whitmer star coming up. Plus, it's back to the high school hardwood, one of the best women's teams in the area. The Rogers Rams in action tonight. That and much more from the City League when we come back here on Sports Night.
City League hoops on the boys' side coming up Friday night. It's a battle between league favorite Bowser and the Stark Spartans. Catch live Friday night at 8 on BCSN 2. Girls high school hoops, Rogers came in at number 2 in our inaugural BCSN Power Rankings. Tonight, the Rams playing the Woodward Polar Bears. Let's take a look as Rogers wasted no time getting on the board thanks to Keasia Peace, who would hit an easy bucket down low. The Rams getting a lot of those. They kept their momentum going with a long 2 from McKenray Johnson, who knocks it down. Weapons all over the court for Rogers. Here's his steal. And a McKenray Johnson bucket and foul. Rogers was down 14, or check that, Woodward was down 14 until this nice shot by Stamper, who also drew a foul, but Woodward's scoring continued. Unfortunately, ran into a dry spell as Markwell Williams gets the bank shot there. Rogers cruises to an easy win. Scott at Bowser before the game. Bowser coach Lewis Davis honored for his service to the City League by Scott coach Darryl Dorn and my former broadcast partner John Hobbs. LaQuell Jacobs starting things off for the Bulldogs. And on the other end, Bowser's Brielle Rayford will answer, but Jacobs this time for 3. She knocks it down. But do we have this right? The Rebels come out victorious, 47-31. Girls hoops continue. Start and wait. Indians with the full court pass to Craig. She puts it up and in. And how about starts Chelsea Rayner with the drive in the lane. And the basket. Start wins a close one, 44-42. More girls hoops coming up live Thursday night at 7:30 on BCSN at Central Catholic and St. Ursula. Live track hoops Thursday night, 7:30 on BCSN.
Back to the college hardwood now, a doubleheader out at Owens Community College tonight. The Express men and women hosting Cuyahoga Community College. We will start it off on the men's side. Little alley-oop action. Marquise Allen to Kenny Jones. They could shoot it from the outside too. Siobhan Gale from the corner, triple try, nothing but net. And then Gale gonna go a little bit closer to the rim and throw it down. Owens goes on to win this one. Final score was, they lose actually, 83-60. Women's team in action. Up 25-11 late in the first quarter. Ranked 4th, Camilla Carter lays it in. Trice's Derica Mahone beats the clock from deep. Owens, though, too much for the challengers. Paige Wright finds the range from outside. The lefty gets it to go. Owens goes on to win this one big. 87-51 is the final. Last night, Wisconsin lost for the first time this season. Whitmer alum Nigel Hayes had an off night, only 6 points. He had been named Big Ten Freshman of the Week back-to-back weeks already this season. The Northwest Ohio product already making an impact in his rookie season.
Credit to my teammates and coaching staff. They've been making sure I've been improving as a player. My teammates, they've been encouraging me to stay aggressive, and they've been giving me the ball in the right spots. The guys play hard every possession, like the old saying goes. During AAU, the guys would take plays off, myself included. But in the Big Ten season, especially in the big games, the guys are going hard every possession. You got to make sure that you bring it.
One quick correction, Owens men a winner tonight at home. Time for another quick break here on Sports Nightly.
When we come back a little bit later, we'll head back out to Savage Hall and check out that fantastic finish. You're watching Sports Nightly.
No high school boys basketball tonight, but we saw a good one last night in the Northern Lakes League with Perrysburg pulling out a dramatic win on the road at Anthony Wayne. With that 48-46 victory, the Yellow Jackets took over sole possession of first place in the NLL. Nick Muschetti led the way with 19 points, the senior averaging about 24 a game. None of those, though, more than clutch than that three-pointer late in the game.
I mean, it always feels good to hit those, but I mean, I try not to think about all my other ones. So, I mean, live it here, don't think about it. But I don't know, I let my teammate do they give me the ball every time I need it, so it's up to them.
A big game for Muschetti, and now he gets to sit down with our Tom Cole.
Thanks so much, Ken. Really looking forward to this interview. Nick Muschetti, outstanding basketball player for Perrysburg. Nick, let's get right to this. Your game, January 9th against Northview, I think you scored 34, I do believe, 6 threes, as I recall, in the game. And not being a shooter myself ever in basketball and loving the game of basketball, I got to ask you, on a night like that, is that like when you're warming up, Nick, and you're going, hey, it feels pretty good? Or the first 2 that go down in the game, you're going, okay, this is going to be good. Take me to there. What was that brought about the 34?
I think it comes from once you hit that first and you start to feel it, then I think it builds from there. But it's hard to tell in warm-ups because you're just getting loose, preparing, see how it comes off in the game.
So it's the first couple shots you take and if they feel good.
Mm-hmm.
Now, your teammates, I'm assuming when they see that you're shooting it pretty well, they go out of their way to find you?
Well, I think we have a real unselfish team. They're always looking up. So if I'm open, they give me the ball and I'll shoot it. But I think we look for the open guy, the easy bucket, so it happens.
Nick, you don't ever have any of these problems because you're a shooter, but if you ever have a night where maybe the first couple don't go down, maybe the first 3 or 4, or you get a clanger here and there, do you pull back a little bit and say, okay, I'm gonna pass a little more tonight, or does Coach Boyce give you the coach look and saying, hey Nick, let's pass it off?
I think a couple more I might fire up until, if they're not going down, I think Coach might send me down for 2 or 3 minutes, but I hope to get back in there and shoot a couple more.
You can have talent without chemistry, and you guys have talent and chemistry. Mm-hmm. How did that come about for this team?
I think it really comes with, we hang out off the court, which we get to know each other really well. We know where everyone likes to play, what they like to do with the ball, where they're going to go, how to pick them up, and everything like that.
Nick, I know you're a guy that works at your game. What part of your game, during the summer, Larry Bird would take a part of his game and say, I'm going to get better at it. Mm-hmm. Michael Jordan did that constantly. Kobe does that. What part of your game do you say, gee, I want to get better at that? What would it be?
I would say defensive end, because if you can lock it down on defense, everything else becomes 100 times easier. So you can always work on defense, whether it's rebounding, keeping your guy in front, boxing out, stealing. And
that's kind of the Coach Boyce way of basketball too, is that you are going to play defense. I never playing for Coach Boyce, and I wish I had, but never playing for him. I would assume that if you don't play defense, you're probably not going to see a lot of playing time.
Yeah, they expect a lot from you on defense, which you got to give them. It makes sense because it's how you win games, so it all works out in the end.
And it's something you can have every night, even with the shots not hitting. Mm-hmm. You can rebound and play defense. Mm-hmm. Is there a guy that you have always kind of looked up to in basketball, the way that he plays on any level, pro, college, high school, somebody that you've kind of, when you like to watch them play, you like their game, you like their style? If I ask you that, who would you say?
I kind of pick it up from a couple different guys. Obviously, Kobe is my favorite player, but I mean, just the guys past that I've seen when I was little watching the varsity games. You just watch all the guys and the older guys on the team when I played earlier. You're going to look up to those guys and see how they play.
Nick, on the way out, did you ever have anybody at Perrysburg that you played against that I would call the wow factor, where you got matched up against them and you kind of just went, wow, this guy's really good? In your career, have you had anybody like that?
I mean, there's always good guys on teams that, I mean, especially this year, I'm getting faced up with some tough guys. There's always tough guys. Last year was tough, so I always got to come in playing as tough as you can, so let's see.
Well, Nick, you made the interview easy. I appreciate it, big man. Good luck the rest of the way, okay,
Thank
Nick?
you.
All right. Ken, back to you.
All right, Tom, thank you so much. Live high school hoops Friday night on BCSN 2 from the Toledo Area Athletic Conference. The Maumee Valley boys travel to take on the Toledo Christian Eagles. Catch it live starting at 7:30 on Friday night.
Coach McWinney going for win number 201.
That's
at
right.
200 the other night. Congratulations to him.
It is time for our final break here on Sports Nightly. When we come back, we're headed back out to Savage Arena for more on that thrilling win. Juice Brown hitting the game winner at the buzzer as the Rockets get the win. But first, here's a look at what's coming up on 13 ABC News at 11.
I was like, yeah, it's serious. We need to go ahead and get it.
With more cases and more deaths, local clinics fill up with people of all ages getting their flu shots.
Exercising when you think you might be getting sick, what the experts say about working out while you're under the weather.
And you got to see the crazy finish when the Rockets played Buffalo tonight in a matchup of two of the MAC's top teams.
Just flurries overnight, but tomorrow we are expecting snow accumulations. I'll have the latest with Predictor.
The Ohio High School hockey rankings are out today, and the St. John's Jesuit Titans are #1 in the state. Here's Matt Melzak and Matt Crandall with Tuesday's Ice Check.
All right, thanks, guys. We're here at the Huntington Center this week at the backdrop here. Of course, Walleye played a couple of games over the weekend. We want to touch on the high school side of things right now, Matt. It was a very entertaining weekend. Did a couple of games on BCSN and a couple of pretty exciting ones.
Well, we did, and it was nice to see the teams from down south coming up because we're hearing good things about Findlay and Bowling Green. Yeah, we started out Findlay coming here to Tam O'Shanter to play Northview. Northview had already beaten Findlay down there, Matt, 5-3 though. So take a look at this. Findlay came in strong against the Wildcats. Brandon Armstrong, small craft advisor here. This small freshman scored the first goal to get Findlay going of the game. Scored Findlay's second goal, turns out to be the game winner in a 4-1. A little bit of an upset there, I think. 4-1. Findlay's playing good hockey, but their first win in Northwest Conference Red Division.
Yeah, kind of surprising there, the Findlay just sitting at one win in the conference after this one against Northview. But yet their goals for, goals against are pretty even, so it tells you they're a much better club than maybe that record shows.
And they're playing consistent. They're playing Findlay hockey. It's defensive hockey, so they want to get you in a 2-1, 3-2 type game. If you give Findlay 4 goals like Northview did, they're going to come out on top.
Well, some other games from that Friday night. You did the St. John's Bowling Green game as well. That turned out to be quite a barn burner, didn't it?
Bowling Green's been down. We're hearing good things about them this year, like I said earlier. Well, they look good here. They scored the first goal of the game. Bowling Green did. Put St. John's back on their heels. That's what you have to do when you're coming in here to face the #1 team at home. And Bowling Green got that first one. St. John's quickly able to tie it up. Bowling Green didn't back down there. They got that big push from St. John's. Bowling Green would score the next. We'll take a 2-1 lead. It would take till the third period for St. John's to get their first lead, 3-2. They would hang on to that. A big goal by Xander Homer, the senior, on senior night there. Not a lot of goals over there in his St. John's career. I can't imagine he's had one bigger than this. Xander Homer. That was a big-time game winner right there.
Yeah, giving St. John's the victory on Friday night, 3-2, the final there in that game over Bowling Green. Some other scores from Friday night. Perrysburg, big win over Lake, 11-1 was the final there. And then also, Southview continues to roll along. They beat Anthony Wayne 6-3 Friday night.
Well, Southview undefeated on the season, 70 goals in 8 games. Michael Yan leading the pace over there for Southview. They're looking good. You're right. Perrysburg and Southview, the class over there in the National.
How about on Saturday? Maybe a little bit of an upset. Northview takes down St. John's 4-3.
Wow, what a game this was. Yeah, late in the game, it was 3-1 St. John's. They had the lead, so Northview pushed it to overtime. Zach Galecki with his second big overtime game-winning goal for the Wildcats. So the junior in the extra frame has gotten it done against St. Francis and now St. John's. Zach Galecki with a big night over there for the Wildcats.
Another team that had a big weekend, guys, was the St. Francis Knights. They won twice over the weekend. They beat Findlay on Saturday night. They turned around and beat Bowling Green 4-2 on Sunday.
Well, that was nice because, as you know, BG just squeaked ahead of St. Francis last year in the final standings, though, to put St. Francis all the way down in the cellar. St. Francis already with 4 wins this year on 2 losses. That was a nice win they had against BG. Also got a poke at Findlay this weekend, though, so St. Francis got their little southern, exposure this weekend and got one 2-1 against Findlay, 4-2 against Bowling Green. Your alma mater, they're looking pretty good.
Yeah, some big wins over the course of the weekend for the St. Francis Knights. They're pushing St. John's at the top of the Red Division, guys. So this is a wide open race in the Red for sure.
It's the tightest we've seen the Red Division in years, Matt.
No doubt about it. Let's throw it back now to the studio. Ken Watlington, take it away.
Tell you what, it's our busiest night so far here on Sports Nightly. A lot of college hoops tonight. Tomorrow, the high school ranks taking over.
Can't wait for it. He's Ken Watlington. I'm Eric Harvard, and you've been watching Sports Nightly.